The Devils played their final home game of the regular season. They win in overtime. They beat Ottawa by a score of 4-3. A lot of things are going to be talked about, Chico. What about the play of Nico Daws? Nico Hischier scores 2 and leads the Devils, but what about Nico Daws in goal?
Well, you know what? I think his game was good, but then the pressure's on. It's late in the game. It's in overtime, and he came through. So he's got to feel good, and they got to feel good. Anybody watching him? So that's all I can say about that.
All right, Chico is the most popular Devil in Devils history. Maybe only Ken Danico exceeds your popularity, and I would say for the most part it's at the very worst a dead tie. You probably have the lead. There are fans who want to say hello to you, really goodbye to you for the summer. If you want to skip out for a little bit, I know you're popular with the fans.
Well, no, here's what I'm going to tell you. Jonas Siegenthaler is such a great player. He has a gift for long-time season ticket holders. Samantha's her name. I just saw her down on the ice. I just was giving it in the third period, Maddie. I saw them, but I want to give it to her, and she's leaving, and I asked Julius, our attendant here, he knows them, if he could get them to come, and I could get. That's the only reason, because I'm leaving after Wednesday. So anyway, I'm sorry, Maddie, but that was the only reason, the hectic part, because I got this gift for her.
And how did it come from Jonas up here for you to give it to her when Jonas could just give it to her?
Well, okay, she was writing some articles for Asian paper. And, you know, Jonas Siegenthaler's mother is Asian from Thailand. Mm-hmm. So they did a column together, or article. And so she asked him if he could get this and whatever. So then it just came up tonight, and I'm sorry, Maddie, but I don't want to get stuck with it because I know she wanted it. But anyway, that's how that unfolded. And, you know, those guys remember. Like, I thought Jonas had forgotten, but he hadn't. And so, anyway.
All right, well, back to the matter at hand as we await some reaction from the Devils dressing room and to hear from Sheldon Keefe. Let's rewind the clock. Check out some highlights of this. Now, Ottawa came in having already clinched a playoff spot. They're going to be a wild card team. It's just a matter of whether they finish first or second, battling with Boston for those honors. And they decided that since they've already clinched a playoff spot, they are going to rest some of their stars. Brady Tkachuk got hurt yesterday, so maybe his absence was because of that. It could have been just that because they said he's okay, but maybe they were just resting their captain. They certainly were resting Thomas Chabot and Jake Sanderson and Thomas Stützle, their leading scorer. So you thought everything favored the Devils, really, in terms of Devils being at home, wanting to end on a good note. Ottawa's already clinched, and the Devils had a better lineup.
Well, was the 2-0 lead the Devils scored in the first two easy? I don't know, but they certainly fell off after that early lead.
Well, it was 5:10 into the first period when the Devils did take that 1-0 lead. Giveaway, and here's Meier behind the net, tries to bank one in front. It's underneath the pad of Reimer. It comes loose. Meier after it far side. He bumps Eller down, knocks him down to the ice. Sends one in front, and a chance, and on the rebound they score. First it was Mercer, then it was Hischier, and the Devils have a 1-0 lead. And there were breakdowns there for Ottawa defensively. Their coverage was poor down low. Hischier scores his 27th goal of the season. Mercer and Meier with the assists at 5:12 officially. And it was the start of what was a very good period for the Devils.
Well, it was, and they scored what seemingly was easy. They had moments in the first period where they just dominated in the Ottawa end. And we thought, well, 6 goals tonight would look good for the Devils.
Well, the Devils were hoping that they got to 2 on this play. Loose puck, Meier flips it off of Reimer. Now they score on the rebound try. Hischier got it the first time. Reimer got a piece of that. This time it's Dawson Mercer, and it's 2-0.
Doesn't.
Exercising their coach's challenge to determine if the play was offside prior to the score.
Might have been offside on the rush. Oh, no, that's a killer.
So the review goes on. The headsets have been taken off. Haven't seen a replay yet, but that leads me to believe it was pretty clear cut.
At 8:23, the play was determined to be offside. We have no goal.
And so Dawson Mercer had to wait before he got 20. Downstairs we go. Jonas Siegenthaler joining us outside the Devils dressing room. And Jonas, we just went through this thing. We'll talk about the game in a second, about a nice present you want to give to someone who's a writer, but she was down on the ice accepting a sweater, and now Chico's got to deliver it before he leaves for Minnesota. What's the story, my friend?
Yeah,
give us more details. Chico told us some about it.
Yeah, it's like a special chili oil sauce. Like I did a collab with a brand back home. It's called Thai Kitchen, and there's like a little pic of my face on the jar, and and the sauce is pretty good. So and you know they were asking for it, or they couldn't find it in the stores, and obviously you can only buy it back home in Switzerland, and so I kind of helped them out and got them some of that chili oil.
Is it hot? Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of spicy. I mean, if you like spicy, you know, it's probably the right sauce. But if you're not a spicy eater, I would keep the fingers away from it.
Hey, if we tell them that we're with the New Jersey Devils, do we get a discount?
I can hook you up. I can hook you up. So.
Hey, you've been great. And to remember that, I saw them here today. And, they're such great fans. They season ticket holders. They've been on our trips. But, just talk a little bit about that, Jonas. And you get it as much as anybody. You could tell us why. But you get there as a connection, right, between the players and the fans. And how do you portray that then to make sure they know that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here a while now, and like it's always we always feel the support from the fans, and especially from that family. They're always around, and they're very invested, like all the other fans in the arena, and. They spent their money, they spent their time for us, and unfortunately we couldn't make the playoff this year. But we really wanted to end on a good note tonight, last home game, and we wanted to give them a win, which we did, and it's always. Giving and getting something, and that's kind of the relationship with the fans. They're here if we need them, and the other way around as well. And I think that's the kind of relationship.
Well, it's a great relationship that you have developed with the fan base here over your years with the club, and we know it's not going to mean the playoffs this year. You just talked about it, but. As you look back, and I know there's one game to play, what you had to put your finger on it. Is it a lack of goal scoring? Was it a lack of a full lineup at times? I mean, what do you think is the reason why you guys are preparing to go home, you to the World Championships, but not going to the playoffs?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of everything. We had stretches where we couldn't score a lot of goals. We had stretches where we couldn't or didn't really play good defense. So it's it's kind of everything. And I think if you look at the stands, at the end of the day, it's really close. And if we would have won a couple more games, I don't know, in December or January. We would have been right there. That kind of even hurts even more just to think about it. But at the end, it's all about piling up points during the season, and I think we kind of slipped a couple games away during the year, and that bit us back.
Well, unfortunately, it ends before anyone thought it would. It'll end on Tuesday night. I think you have expressed everyone's frustrations and thoughts about it. The good thing is, we know there'll be changes, but most of this group will be back, and it's probably a one-off. I think it is. I think it's just one of those years, and next year will be a very exciting year here at The Rock. I know you'll be a part of it. And I know we'll see you on Tuesday in Boston, and we'll watch you from afar when Switzerland hosts the World Championships. Thanks very much for your time.
No.
Yeah.
Switzerland wins the championship.
Oh, hopefully that's our goal. I mean, it's about time for us to win that gold. But thank you. Thank you guys too for for the whole year, and let's finish it off in Boston on another good note.
Sounds good.
Love it.
Thanks, Jonas.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Jonas Siegenthaler, what a gentleman, what a terrific guy, and a solid player for the New Jersey Devils. But let's go back to the highlights. We had Dawson Mercer's goal called back, so it stayed 1-0. Later on in the period, the Devils down a man. Lenny Hamanaho called for a 4-minute high-sticking double minor, but not for the first time. Well, for the first time in the game, but not the last. The Devils scored shorthanded. So now Zetterlund will take it across the line for Halliday, for Thompson at the far point. His pass tipped away. Jack Hughes after it. Works it quickly ahead. Connor Brown in. He scores! It might have been knocked off his stick from behind, but it counts just the same. It wasn't the prettiest he'll score, but it was his 18th of the season, a shorthanded goal at 14:51.
Yeah, both the overtime breakaway goals, shorthanded goals were weird. But you're right, Manny. I mean, that's how goals are scored. We'll get to the overtime winner, and that was a weird one. But the key was that Brownie was trying to do something, right? That's what I'm always saying. Don't just go down. I'm on a break. I'm just going to shoot it, and whatever happens, happens. No, try to make something happen. And he did there, and he had some help from the defending Ottawa Senator chasing him. But it was a big goal at the time.
2-0 after one. The Devils in front, but boy, things turned around in period number 2. Dominated by Ottawa, and things got started with Michael Amadio's goal. Here's Amadio stepping out from behind the net. He's now moved to the right wing corner, swings it on the backhand to Zub at the point. With a shot, it's tipped home. And Ottawa is on the board. It'll be Amadio who delivered the pass, came out of the corner, and redirected it past Nico Daws. At 7:42 of the second, and Ottawa was on its way.
Yeah, and you described it perfectly. And I mean, Amadio's just coming out of the corner. The shot's there. It's going short side. He pokes it with the tip of his blade. It goes to the far side off the pipe, and it was a shocker, and it certainly seemed to put the Devils a little bit on their heels.
Yep, at 9:02, Hamanaho was called for another penalty, a hook. And this time there was no shorthanded goal, but there was a power play score. Here's a drive, and that's deflected away. That was Spence. He's got a rocket of a shot. He has it again to the corner for Giroux. Now backhands for Batherson. Looks around, gives it to Giroux, top of the far circle. Gives it near side. It's driven home. Shane Pinto with the power play goal, and this game has turned around. We're tied at 2. Good blast. He had some room. Good puck movement.
Great point. Good. Giroux makes a great pass. And again, you talk about it. I looked. We could see it from our vantage point. Maybe there's 8 inches. But Daws is coming across, but it hits the inside of the pipe and goes in. Great shot, and we're tied.
Jack Hughes turns the puck over. Good hand-eye coordination by Fabian Zetterlund. He knocked a pass down out of the air, and then he wound up putting it past Nico Daws at 14-14 for his 17th goal of the season, and Ottawa led 3-2 after 2. They outshot the Devils 16-5. Into the third we go, and it was an exciting final 20 minutes. Nico Daws with a big-time point-blank save. So the Devils right now can't even get out of their own zone. Kovacevic, an empty pass to center ice where Crotty grabs it for Ottawa. Now it's Crotty with a wrist shot, tip save by Daws. What a tip by Batherson, what a save. That wasn't easy. I mean, some tips are easy. That one wasn't.
Absolutely, Matty. And, Daws was into it, but the bottom line is he wants to win the hockey game. That's what goalies remember.
So the Devils still trail 3-2 as we move further along in the period. There was a whistle before Jack Hughes put the puck in the net. James Reimer didn't have control. He has glove going toward the puck, but didn't cover up the puck. The whistle was blown by the official. The rule is if he doesn't see it, he's got to blow the whistle. But play continued. Jack poked it home. No goal. Ottawa wasn't too happy because it came after the whistle. They were a little upset with Jack. Doesn't matter. The Devils still need that goal to tie things up. Well, they would be down a man when Jack was called for an interference penalty. He might not cool down over that call until July.
Oh, he was mad.
And he goes off at 10:59. So the game is really in the balance. If Ottawa scores, they're up 4-2. If the Devils can score, or at least keep them off the board, they get a chance. Well, they did come up with another shorthanded goal, and we'll call this the play of the game. Brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. So Ottawa with the power play now, 40 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Aaron pass, it's pushed up ahead, and here comes Dawson Mercer. Breakaway backhand scores! Woohoo! Dawson Mercer with the shorthanded goal, the second of the game for the Devils. So he thought he had 20 for the season earlier. He does have 20 on the season. Nico Hischier with the helper at 12:28. 2 shorthanded goals for the Devils, and the game was tied at 3.
Memorable goal for Dawson Mercer, and Jack Hughes jumped up off the bench in the penalty box and smashed his stick against the ice. He was pumped as well, and whenever he is pumped, generally the other team better look out.
So the game is tied at 3. That was the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. Although, truth be told, this next highlight could also have been the play of the game. Nemitz from the point with a shot blocked by Gregg. And Ridley Gregg has it, comes near side. And here comes Gregg. Pass it cross ice. Daws
big save.
Comes near side to far, and he denies Batherson. Here's a turnover. Cousins moves in deep. Backhand. Another save by Daws. Pass out in front. And off the stick of Batherson it goes. Now Spence for Batherson. Gets it down low. Cousins can't get a shot off. Spence with a shot. That's blocked away by Daws. 10 seconds ago. What a finish here at the Rock. Matt and Paulo along the right wing wall with a shot blocked by Dillon. Comes out high. Jack sweeps it to center ice. And we will go to overtime. Resume building material there for Nico Daws.
Hey, if I'm Nico Daws, I'm saying, hey, Loughlin, can I get a copy of that of that description of those saves? I want to send it around the league, and hopefully somebody wants to take a chance on me. I'm not saying Nico Daws established himself as he's going to be a goalie in the NHL for years to come, but you know what? At least if I'm a GM of another team, and I'm a scout, I'm saying I think we should give this guy a chance. If the Devils decide they're not, because he doesn't want to go back up to Utica again. I mean, who would at 25? He wants to play in the big leagues, and he is now, Manny, 2-0 this year.
Mm-hmm. And, we've seen him before perform very well at this level.
Yeah.
There are times when it's not been as good, but he also hasn't had a good defense in front of him in his previous call-ups. And so still interesting to see what the future holds for Nico Daws. What we do know is that he picked up the victory as he made 27 saves on 30 shots his way, but still allowing 3 goals. The Devils had a score of 4th, and so we go to overtime. There was a penalty called on Batherson. Boy, he played a role in this game, certainly, for a slash. Devils have the man advantage, and Nico Hischier moves into Devils history. Pinto on the face-off, 40 to go in the power play, 1:51 to go in overtime. Devils win this draw. Jack to Dougie, now to Jack. Wrist shot through a screen save. They poke it home and they win in overtime. Nico Hischier, the captain, with a pair tonight. And the Devils win their final home game of the regular season, defeating Ottawa by a score of 4-3. And there he was with his hand extended in the air. His 11th overtime game-winning goal ties him with the great Patrick Elias for franchise lead.
With pretty heady material, and I will just say Patrick's 50th birthday's coming up, and he's coming here tomorrow to celebrate a couple days and then go to Florida. But doesn't time fly? Patrick Elias, 50 years old.
Yeah, I think the 15th is his birthday?
I'm not sure.
I seem to remember. I think April 15th. For some reason, I remember that being his birthday. But yeah, 50 years old. Boy, time does fly. As I look at some of the championship banners that, he had key role in, and then look at his number retired here in the rafters, number 26, the great Patrick Elias. Nico Hischier ties him with 11 overtime game winners. After the game, Nico spoke with MSG's Rachel Herzog at center ice.
Nothing like a good comeback win to close this out. Congratulations, Nico, and I think you could hear it in the arena, too. A lot of adversity there late in the game in the third period. What did you like about your team being able to push beyond that and pull this game out?
The last 20 minutes here, so we want to come out strong and play as hard as we can, and got the win for you guys, and that's all we could do.
Talking about the fans, you mentioned it is the last home game here of the season. What do you appreciate the most about the fans in the building tonight and how you're able to feed off them night in and night out?
Look around, I think we can all agree it wasn't the season we wanted, but you guys still showed up tonight, and all we can do is get the win for you guys here.
And then a big game from Nico Daws. For you personally as the captain, how important was it to get this win for him coming in so late in the season, showing that poise, especially late in the third?
Really important. I mean, he feels great. I think he made some great saves for us, and it was a big part of that win here tonight.
Thanks so much, Nico. Congrats on the win here.
Rachel Herzog speaking with the captain at center ice following tonight's victory. Well, you heard him reference, and Rachel referenced Nico Daws. Let's hear what the young goalie had to say after the game.
How fun was that tonight?
Yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, anytime you're in this league, it's fun to start with, and winning games is, it's even better.
Take me through the overtime and the final, minute of that game.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those times where you got to make a save, and that's all I was trying to do. And then overtime, I didn't have to do anything, so that's always a treat.
Did you feel the fans and how much that this game meant to them tonight?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's important. Last home game of the season. They were loud for us, and I think it helped us push through.
What did it mean to you to get sort of this opportunity? I know you've played a lot before in this league, but just at this moment in the season, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I say it every time up here, but you never know when you're going to get called up next and when your next start's going to be. So, you got to cherish it and go out and work as hard as you can. And like I said, winning games is a lot of fun.
How tough is that moment for when Zetterlund sort of takes that puck right there and it's like, what are you thinking as a goaltender?
Yeah, not thinking much, just, trying to get something in the way of him. I probably should have been a little bit more ready with the puck in front of me like that, but you know what? It all washes when we win.
It looked like not only did they want to get the win for the fans tonight, your teammates, but they wanted to get the win for you too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody played super hard, and they always do, and I appreciate it. It makes my job easier, so it's awesome.
You go about the defense in front of you tonight.
Yeah, I mean they're always good. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of all of them. I love all of them. Really happy for Billy to get his first game. I was super excited for him. He's been really good down in Utica for us for a few years now. So yeah, it was good.
Just piggybacking off of that, what's it like to sort of be a part of a game like that with him, right? Like he's been down there in Utica for 3 years, waiting for this opportunity. You know what it's like to make an NHL debut.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, mine was, 5 years ago now, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, super happy for him. He deserves it, the work he's put in, and, super skilled player. He's got a great career ahead of him, so, yeah, it's just happy for him.
Is this a great way for you to build on this now as you head, in the future?
Yeah, 100%. I'll take this game and, realize that, I can still play and compete at this level, and, I feel very confident, and, I'll take that. And just go with it wherever it goes, whether it's over the summer or what, but just have that mindset of obviously this league is the league I want to play in, and that's what I'm working for.
And it is an unknown future. He's a restricted free agent. The goaltending position is filled here with Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen.
And can I finish this thought?
Yeah.
When he said, and over the summer, I might go somewhere else or I might be here. He didn't want to say that. Mm. But, I mean, quite honestly, when you're a kid like I was at that age, Matty, he loves it. He's built a relationship with these players now, but I want to play in the NHL. And if they deem that I'm not the guy, I get it. That's fine. But then please give me a chance somewhere else. And that's what he's facing as a restricted free agent. He's got to be able to break loose. They've got to move him. I don't think they're just going to let him go and say, hey, you can be a free agent. So there's some uncertainty with him. And the big question is, I'm hoping, Matty, with the day off, I'm hoping I get to see him in Boston one more time.
We talked about it briefly at the beginning of our coverage, and I said that the coach wasn't asked about it, and I thought he would just say, well, we'll see how tonight goes.
Mm-hmm.
You were pretty confident or sure, hopeful that Daws would play, because why call him up to only play him the one game? And I understand that, but I would think the performance tonight reinforces any thought that Sheldon Keefe had. And, Jake Allen might be up there just as a backup.
Yeah, and he'll be fine with that. Jake Allen was in his spot, Matty. He was a young goalie. He's told me about riding the buses in the minor leagues, sleeping between the chairs. I mean, it was a battle in the minor leagues. It always is. You play 3 and 3 nights. So he's been there, and Jake Allen doesn't want, let's be honest, he doesn't want it to be here with the Devils, because that's his position. But he wants Nico Daws to be in the NHL somewhere, and that's what I'm looking for. I just hope he can be traded, because I don't see him being here. I just don't see it. So I hope he's being traded, maybe part of it, other players or draft picks, and they can get, as we know, I think they are going to need at least 3 more third and fourth liners to play, and if they could get one top 6 forward to also be here to start the season next fall, Devils would be in good shape, because the core we've watched all year, and they're fine.
Jack Hughes with 2 more points tonight, 77. Nico has 3 points tonight. He's up to 66. Those numbers not what he would want based on last year, but it is what it is. Jesper Bratt did not pick up a point. Nico now leads the team in goals with 28, 1 better than Jack. 1 off of 200 for his career. Nico would be the 5th Devil to have 200 or more in a career, and let's hope he gets that on Tuesday when the Devils take on Boston. You heard Nico Daws talk a little bit about Tapiasville, and we didn't notice him. That's not a bad thing. He didn't seem panicked. He didn't, when under some pressure, he was able to make some passes. I think in his NHL debut, he kind of passed with flying colors.
He did. I mean, if when players come up, they say, I want to bring energy, I want to play my game, and basically say, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to be noticed because I got lit up or something happened when I was the center part of it. And it didn't. He was very solid. I don't know how many minutes he played, but it was probably about 12 maybe, I'm thinking, because he was at 9.
11:23.
Okay, 11 and a half. Okay, that's all right. I mean, the third period he wasn't going to play as much because they needed to score goals. But, depth, Matty, is what every NHL franchise is looking for, and he seems like he is going to be a good depth defenseman, and hopefully for him, because I know he wants to, it'll translate to him one day being in the NHL.
5th-round draft pick back in 2021, has spent time with Utica this year. 4 goals, not a ton. If you look at his history, he is not a goal scorer, but 4 is the most he scored in North America. So who knows if it's a little bit of a stepping stone. He's not going to become, Cale Makar for sure. But defense, was it Lenny who told us earlier in the season that, in Finland, you better play defense first. That's what they teach growing up. Defense first, and then other things will come. Well, the offense may never come for Tapiasville, but the defense foundation is there, and that will serve him in good stead for sure as he takes another step in his career.
You got to know who you are, and I'm going to tell you right, man, the offense is never going to come. It's not. It might come. It's not. But if he says, okay, is Jonas Siegenthaler all of a sudden going to score 10 goals? No. And he's fine with that. I hope he gets a couple, but he can battle and dive and take people out of the play and play great defense. And it's the same thing with him. He knows who he is, and just give me a chance, because as we know, especially when the playoffs are coming and all you folks are going to be watching, it's going to tighten down. It's going to become more physical. They're going to let more plays go. You better know how to play defense, because they're going to be close games, and just one mistake can blow it to sky high for your team. And he's the type of player, I think, that's aware of that.
So the Devils win by a score of 4-3 in overtime. Nico Hischier with a pair of goals. Nico Daws picks up the win. We're waiting to hear from head coach Sheldon Keefe, who seems to be just slightly delayed in making his way to the post-game podium. We'll stay with it until he does. Want to hear what his thoughts are on the final home game of the season as the Devils get ready to take on the Boston Bruins on Tuesday night. That's a game you'll hear here beginning with the pregame show at 6:50 on the Devils Hockey Network. But a good way to end the home schedule. Not the kind of home schedule season the Devils would have liked, but a nice way to end it.
Yeah, and, I talked to most fans, and what they want to see changes. They've seen one with Tommy Fitzgerald, and most fans think, he had a good shot at it. I'm not the owner. I don't decide those things, but he had a good shot. He had a good 6 years, and he built a nice core. But now let's see if somebody else can finish it off. We need a finisher. That's what they're thinking, the fans. And then the other thing they keep saying, well, do you think the coach is going to be back in there? I don't know. But I got to tell you, that's a big decision coming up for whoever makes it. Maddie and I don't know because there's no general manager, so we don't know. But that'll be the next step of solidifying. You can't go into the draft and all that without knowing who your coach is for next year. So that should happen shortly after the season ends.
Yeah, and I would think that, between when the final horn sounds in Boston, when the season ends for the Devils, whether it ends in a win or a loss. And then, there are some big times that will come up rather quickly. But I think there's some time that the Devils have to make a decision as to who's going to come in and lead the organization. It doesn't have to be made by Friday. You want to make the right choice. But we're talking weeks.
Yeah.
Before
by the end of May, you want to have someone in place and getting to know all the staff and all that. You're right. And I think the same thing for the coach. I mean, the only scenario for a coach could be, well, the owner, or I don't know who's going to be running the show, could say, well, let's get the general manager and see if he wants this coach or he wants a new one. What's interesting just in the coaching realm, a couple teams, Columbus changed their coach. A good friend of mine, Rick Bowness, got the job, and they went on a roll, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it. So does that have a factor? Patrick Waugh, he gets fired, and there's 5 games. They make a quick change. They're not going to make it. And there were other changes, too. L.A. did make it. They made a change. And Las Vegas was already in. They made a change. But my point is, will these changes in coaches this year recently and how the teams responded have any effect on the coaching here in New Jersey? Again, we don't know, but, that could be a factor, too.
So lots to look forward to, including Tuesday night's game against the Boston Bruins. Just trying to determine that the coach will be coming soon. If not,
I don't know what more he could say. I mean, unless he was going to tell us who was going to be the starting goalie in Boston. That's the only thing
important information like that may have to wait. So what we'll do is we will wrap things up, and we'll direct you to our website as the Devils will have coach's comments from the post-game podium posted shortly after he concludes. But for now, we'll let you know that the next game, of course, the Devils will play is on Tuesday against Boston. It's a game you'll hear here on the Devils Hockey Network.